It's December 20th. Time once again for Not a Creature Was Stirring. Being in school, for many of us, means learning for the very first time that we're different. That we're bigger than the other kids. Or that our hair is longer than the other kids. Or that our name is funnier than the other kids. This is the lesson brought to us in our last Kevin Henkes mouse book for Not a Creature Was Stirring, and I've saved the very best one for last. Today it's Chrysanthemum. The day she was born was the happiest day in her parents' lives. She's perfect, said her mother. Absolutely, said her father. And she was. She was absolutely perfect. Her name must be absolutely perfect. And it was. Chrysanthemum. Her parents named her Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum grew and grew and grew. And when she was old enough to appreciate it, Chrysanthemum loved her name. She loved the way it sounded when her mother woke her up. She loved the way it sounded when her father called her for dinner. And she loved the way it sounded when she whispered it to herself in the bathroom mirror. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. This sounds like it might be a little bit indicative of a personality disorder, but she's a little girl. She'll get over it. Right? Chrysanthemum thought her name was absolutely perfect. And then she started school. It's so long, said Joe. It scarcely fits on your name tag, said Rita. I'm named after my grandmother, said Victoria. You're named after a flower. Chrysanthemum wilted. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was absolutely dreadful. Children can be so cruel. Especially when they're part anglerfish like Victoria. What the hell is up with that? The rest of the day was not much better. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and informed Mrs. Chud that the Chrysanthemum's name was spelled with 13 letters. That's exactly half as many letters as there are in the entire alphabet. Okay, 1. Victoria, shut the hell up. 2. It's your first day of school and you can already count the number of letters in Chrysanthemum and you know how many there are in the alphabet? And how many is half? I think you should be bumped up a grade. Welcome home. School is no place for me, said Chrysanthemum. My name is too long. It scarcely fits on my name tag. And I'm named after a flower. Okay, I think Chrysanthemum's dad is kind of interesting. The lab coat indicates a scientist, but then there's the pencil indicating that he doesn't necessarily use computers. And the Birkenstocks? I think Dad works in a dispensary. No, actually, he's probably a psychologist. Look at the books he reads. Look at his mouse Picasso. Chrysanthemum felt much better after her favorite dinner, macaroni and cheese with ketchup. Mac and cheese with ketchup? Ho-de-oten-doten-day! Ho-de-oten-day! And an evening filled with hugs and kisses and parcheesi. But now school is even worse because now the kids know she has a weakness. A weakness that can be exploited and taunted, and she can be destroyed just because they can. During nap time, Victoria raised her hand and said, A chrysanthemum is a flower. It lives in a garden with worms and other dirty things. Suddenly, a big blonde human foot came down on her and... Oh, sorry. You never know when nerd rage will strike like that. That night, Chrysanthemum dreamed she really was a chrysanthemum. Victoria picked her and plucked the leaves and petals one by one until there was nothing left but a scrawny stem. Who can save you when you want to run away from your own identity? I'll tell you who. It's Miss Delphinium Twinkle, the music teacher. And the kids love her just as much as Lily loved Mr. Slinger. Everyone loves Mrs. Twinkle. Except maybe Lily.
You will live to regret that bump under your dress.
Her voice was like something out of a dream, as was everything else about her. The students were speechless. They thought Mrs. Twinkle was an indescribable wonder. They went out of their way to make a nice impression. So nobody dared to speak up and say, Mrs. Twinkle, your maternity dress is like something out of a Tool video. What's so humorous?
Chrysanthemum. Her name is so long. It scarcely fits on her name tag. I'm named after my grandmother. She's named after a flower.
My name is long. My name would scarcely fit on a name tag. And I'm named after a flower, too. My name is Delphinium. Delphinium Twinkle. And if my baby is a girl, I'm considering Chrysanthemum as a name. I think it's absolutely perfect. Chrysanthemum did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She knew it. I'm the Hungry Reader, but my real name is Ethan. And I looked this up. The year that I was born, Ethan was the 250th most popular boy's name. For the last 10, 15 years or so, since about 2000, it's been in the top 10, sometimes at number 1. So, just as in this story, if you think you have a weird name, it just means that you have very forward-thinking parents. And prepare to hear your name yelled a lot in the grocery store and turn around and see a toddling little boy or girl following mom. But they were following in your footsteps.